Welcome back to the Quantum Soul Deep Divers, ready to unlock some seriously hidden levels of human potential.
I think we're about to blow some minds wide open today, that's for sure.
You ever get that feeling like there's something more to who we are than what we've been told?
Oh yeah, like we're playing a video game, but there's this whole secret level we haven't even glimpsed yet.
Exactly. And what if that's not just a feeling, but like an echo of a past where humanity wasn't limited to just one way of being?
That's what we're diving into today. Ancient, often hidden ideas that suggest we're made up of light, earth, and fire.
Hold up, not like metaphorically. We're talking real spiritual essences here.
That's the really intriguing part. We're not just talking about recent New Age stuff, we're going way back. Ancient texts, mystical traditions, the kind of knowledge that makes you question everything you thought you knew.
Okay, color me intrigued. So let's unpack this tripartite human idea of beings of light, earth, and fire. Like each of us has this hidden recipe, but what do these ingredients actually mean?
All right, picture this. Humans, but as pure light beings. Pure energy emanating from a divine source. Innate wisdom, complete freedom.
Okay, no bills, no deadlines, just pure consciousness vibes. I could get used to that. But here's the thing. If we were once like that, directly connected to the divine, why do we need all this structure now? Churches, rituals, dogmas. It's like we went from fiber optic to dial-up.
And that leads us to a very interesting character, the Demiurge. Gnostic teachings describe him not as a benevolent creator, but more like a cosmic programmer.
Whoa, you're saying we're living in a simulation?
Well, sort of. The Gnostics believe that the Demiurge crafted this material world, and in doing so, set limits on that original divine spark.
Okay, but WHY? Why create a world designed to keep us, well, kind of basic?
Think about it. Earthly humans, those focused on survival, material needs, they're predictable, right? Easier to control. The Gnostics saw this material world as a trap almost.
Look around, they weren't wrong. Fear, hunger, desire, always chasing something just out of reach.
Exactly. Always striving, never quite satisfied. It's a powerful way to keep things in order.
Okay, so that's 2 out of our 3 human types.
Yeah.
The light beings, and then us grounded earthly folks.
Yeah.
But what about those born of fire?
Those are the rebels, the ones who constantly push boundaries, challenge authority.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection. The fire souls, they're like glitches in the Matrix, right? Carrying that original spark, reminding us of what we could be.
Exactly. They don't fit the mold. And guess what? Throughout history, these are the individuals often labeled as dangerous, disruptive.
Because they threaten the established order.
Bingo. They're living proof that there's more to the story than we're being told, and that makes those in power nervous.
Whoa, we've gone from cosmic programmers to glitches in the Matrix. This is heavy stuff, deep divers. Before we go any deeper, what are your initial thoughts on this? Are you resonating with any of these types? Hit that comment section below and let us know. And while you're at it, if you're finding this as mind-blowing as we are, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the knowledge.
Before we go any further, though, we need to talk about something called the Neo-Gene Doctrine. Not just some philosophical theory, but a framework that actually categorized humanity into these 3 types, with real-world implications.
So they had a name for it, a system, the whole 9 yards. But I'm guessing this wasn't exactly taught in schools.
You guessed right. The Neo-Gene Doctrine was systematically suppressed, erased, demonized.
Okay, hold up. Not just keeping people focused on survival, actively hiding this knowledge about our true potential. Why go to such lengths? What were they so afraid of?
That's what we'll explore in part 2 of our deep dive. Imagine if everyone knew about their light, earth, or fire essence. How might that change things? Society, relationships, the very fabric of our world.
The implications are mind-boggling, but we'll have to save those for next time. Stay tuned, deep divers.
Welcome back, deep divers. So before we jump down that rabbit hole, we were talking about the Neo-Gene Doctrine, and it's kind of mysterious disappearance, right?
Yeah, it's like finding a crucial page ripped out of a history book. You just know something important is missing.
Exactly. So if this knowledge about the tripartite human was so powerful, who benefited from keeping it under wraps? And why were they so afraid of people understanding their true potential?
Right, that's the big question, isn't it? Who benefits? It's like,
control thrives on ignorance, right?
oh yeah, for sure.
If you can convince people they're only meant to be worker bees.
They won't question the hive.
Exactly. But the Neo-Gene Doctrine, with its emphasis on individual essence, that inner light, earth, or fire, it throws a wrench in the whole system.
Totally. It's like saying, hey, you might not just be a cog in the machine, You could be the engineer, the inventor, the one who redesigns the whole darn thing.
Exactly. And it's not just about external control like laws or social norms. The Gnostics believed there were forces at play in the non-physical realm too.
Okay, wait, like what? Tell me more.
Beings called archons. They act as enforcers for the demiurge.
Hold up, archons. Like, are we talking demons?
Not demons exactly, more like think of them as cosmic middle management, making sure everyone stays in line, even on a subconscious level.
Okay, you're really making me think of the Matrix here.
Right.
Those creepy Agent Smith characters. So these archons, they're messing with our minds too. Is that where things like self-doubt and limiting beliefs come from?
That's what the Gnostics suggested, yeah. They influence our thoughts, our beliefs, even how we perceive reality itself. Think about it. All the times you've talked yourself out of something, felt unworthy, or just accepted things the way they are without questioning why.
Oh man, it's true. Sometimes it does feel like there's a voice in my head saying, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Or who are you to even try? So are you saying those doubts aren't just random, but like part of a bigger cosmic scheme?
That's the unsettling suggestion, yeah. That we might be fighting a battle on two fronts. The external systems of control and these internal saboteurs whispering doubts and keeping us playing small.
That's a bit creepy, honestly.
It's definitely a challenging concept, but here's the good news. Becoming aware of this is the first step to breaking free. Knowledge is power, even when it's uncomfortable.
So just by recognizing these archons, by understanding how they operate, we start to gain an edge.
Precisely. It's like shining a light in a dark room. Suddenly, those shadows don't seem so scary anymore.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
The Gnostics believed that gnosis, true transformative knowledge, was the key to breaking free from the demiurges and those pesky archons' control. It's not just about accumulating information, it's about understanding it on a deep level, letting it change how you see yourself and the world.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all ties together. We've got these three types of humans: light, earth, fire. And then you have these forces, both seen and unseen, that might be trying to keep us from realizing our full potential. But let's get practical for a second. What does it actually look like to embody these different essences in the real world? It can't all be ancient texts and cosmic mind games, right?
Right, you're right. Remember, these are archetypes, not labels. We each have a unique blend of these essences within us. It's about recognizing which ones are strongest and learning to work with them. Think of it like a personality test.
Oh, okay. So it's not about boxing yourself in, but more like gaining self-awareness.
Yeah.
To see your strengths and challenges.
Exactly.
So give us some examples. What might a being of light look like in everyday life?
Someone strong in the light essence might be naturally drawn to knowledge, spirituality, that deep yearning for truth and connection we talked about earlier. They might be the quiet observer, the one who sees patterns others miss, the friend everyone goes to for insightful advice.
Makes sense. They're like the wise owls of the group, right? What about the more grounded earthly humans? What makes them tick?
Earthly humans are all about tangible results. Building, creating, establishing a firm foundation in the material world. Think of the dependable friend, the one who always follows through, who values structure and security. They keep things running smoothly.
And of course, we can't forget those fiery rebels. What are some telltale signs of a fire soul in action?
Oh, you'll know them when you see them. Passionate, driven to make a difference. They might be artists, entrepreneurs, activists, anyone who challenges the status quo. They're the ones who see a problem and say, we can do better than this. They're the catalysts for change.
It's so fascinating how these three types could both complement AD clash with each other, right? The light folks offer wisdom, the earth folks bring stability, and the fire folks shake things up. It's like
A cosmic dance.
yes, exactly.
Sometimes harmonious, sometimes a bit chaotic, but ultimately interconnected. Imagine if we could understand and appreciate these different essences, not just in ourselves, but in everyone we meet.
That's a beautiful thought. Seeing
Right.
people through that lens, recognizing their unique strengths and challenges. It's like having a cheat code for understanding human nature.
It is. And once we start to see ourselves and others in this way, we open up to a whole new level of potential, both individually and collectively.
This is blowing my mind wide open. I bet our deep divers out there are feeling it too. If you're resonating with this, hit that like button and share this deep dive with your friends. We're all on this journey of self-discovery together, and the more we understand these ancient ideas, the more empowered we become to create a better world.
Absolutely. Before we move on to the big question, how to break free from limitations and step into our true potential, let's take a moment to acknowledge the complexity of this topic. We're just scratching the surface here, and there's so much more to explore.
All right, deep divers. We've explored the tripartite human, those fascinating light, earth, and fire essences.
Right.
We've even peeked behind the curtain at those shadowy archons. whispering doubts, keeping us playing small. But now for the big question. How do we actually break free from those limitations? If we're living in this cosmic program designed to keep us in check, how do we rewrite the code?
It's the question, isn't it? And honestly, there's no single magic button, no easy answer. But the Gnostics, they believe that true liberation starts with gnosis,
No.
a profound, transformative understanding of reality. It's not just about knowing the facts. It's about seeing the world with new eyes, questioning everything we've been told.
So it's like stepping out of the matrix, right?
Exactly.
Seeing the code for what it is, understanding how it works.
Yeah.
But how do we actually DO that? Is it something that just happens, or can we actively cultivate this gnosis?
It can be both, actually. Sometimes it's a sudden awakening, like a flash of insight that changes everything, but more often it's a gradual process. Like peeling back those layers of conditioning, those beliefs and patterns that have kept us trapped. It's about becoming aware of the voices in our heads, the fears that hold us back, and asking, are these really mine? Or have I been programmed to think this way?
It's funny you mentioned those voices. I used to think self-doubt was just part of being human.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering, are some of those doubts actually whispers from those sneaky archons trying to keep me in line?
Right. That's the power of this perspective shift. When we understand that we might be influenced by forces beyond our conscious awareness, we can start to reclaim our mental space. The Gnostics, they believed we're not just passive victims in this cosmic game. We have the power to choose our thoughts, our beliefs, ultimately our reality.
Okay, so we're not just at the mercy of fate or some cosmic programmer. We have agency. But if we've been conditioned to think a certain way for so long, how do we actually break free from those old patterns? It's like trying to quit a bad habit. Easier said than done, right?
Absolutely. It takes effort, consistent practice. But there are tons of tools that can help. The Gnostics were all about inner work. Things like meditation, mindfulness, journaling even. All these things can help us become aware of our thoughts and beliefs.
Those for sure.
It's like shining a light on those subconscious programs. Those limiting beliefs we might not even realize are running in the background.
I've dabbled in meditation, and it's amazing how much chatter goes on in my head. It's like having a room full of monkeys all screaming different things. So by becoming aware of those thoughts, we can start to choose which ones to listen to, right?
Yeah.
It's like decluttering our mental space.
Exactly. And as we clear out those old programs, we create space for new, empowering beliefs to take root. It's not about denying our earthly needs or suppressing our fire. It's about becoming conscious of how these essences play out in our lives and choosing how we want to express them.
This is starting to feel less like doom and gloom and more like an incredible opportunity. Like we've been handed a map to our own inner universe, and we get to choose which paths to explore.
That's a great way to put it. It's about reclaiming our sovereignty, not just as individuals, but as a species. Imagine a world where everyone understands their light, earth, and fire, where we celebrate our differences and collaborate instead of compete. That's the true potential the Gnostics were pointing towards.
Wow, that's a world I want to be a part of creating. But let's be real for a second. We're still living in a world where those old systems of control are very much in place. How do we navigate that while staying true to our own awakening? It's like trying to play a new game with the old rulebook.
It's definitely a balancing act, no doubt. But remember, as we change ourselves, we inevitably change the world around us. The Gnostics believed that true liberation isn't about fighting the darkness. It's about shining so brightly that the darkness simply fades away.
It's like that Gandhi quote, be the change you want to see in the world. So by embodying our true selves, by living authentically and expressing those light, earth, and fire qualities, we become beacons for others.
Exactly. When we live in alignment with our true nature, we inspire others to do the same. We challenge the old paradigms, not by force, but by demonstrating a new way of being. It's about creating ripples of change that spread outwards, transforming not just ourselves, but the world around us.
This has been one of those deep dives that truly changes how you see things. It's not just about ancient texts and esoteric ideas. It's about understanding ourselves, our potential, and our role in creating a better world. If this episode sparked something in you, hit that like button and share it with your friends. Let's keep this conversation going.
Remember, deep divers, this journey of self-discovery is a lifelong adventure. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shining your light. There are 2 videos on the screen. Click one to continue your journey.